Welcome to Computer Specialist Repair. Today we'll be upgrading a customer's desktop. It's a micro desktop. It is a Lenovo ThinkCentre M700. The model on these is right here on the corner. This is a i5 currently with 4 gig of memory and 128. No, actually, sorry. This has a 1 terabyte regular spindle drive in it. So basically this computer came in, it's running horribly slow. We already did the diagnostics on it. It's basically the hard drive is bad. Those 1 terabyte drives, as you'll probably hear in a lot of my videos, they go bad all the time. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna and we already had it apart, the order, but we'll give you the rundown as we go. But it has one 4 gig stick in there, so we're gonna throw another 4 gig in. We're gonna take out the spindle drive, put in a 500 gig Western Digital M.2 drive. This model uses M.2. As you can see on these drives, basically they have the 2 notches here. So basically the 2 notches there will show you that's M.2. If it was an NVMe drive, we'd only have the 1 notch. An NVMe drive will fit into this motherboard. We'll just not show it. It's, you know, basically a whole different motherboard that would need to detect that. It's a whole chipset and everything. So if anybody out there is watching this video because they can't get theirs to run, it might just be as simple as that. When they first came out with these, I've been doing this 26 years. We were a little confused by it, but the way I see it, the easiest way is to look for those notches. Unfortunately, you would think there'd be 2 notches on there. It will allow the other one to go in, just will not work. We picked this drive up. It was about $55. This stick of memory we had laying around. I believe you could pick them up on eBay fairly cheap. I'd say $15–20, maybe up to $40. The prices jump around, but you can even pick up new. But we'll explain that more. So basically on this one, you're gonna need a T Torx on here. It's a T15. This is actually just a regular Torx right here. If it has a security hole in here, you would need a T15H. If you have, I have the T15H anyway, so it'll work with either of the screws. But it should be non-security. But every once in a while we do get different ones in, and it depends on if it was worked on before. So basically that screw comes out. I would highly recommend taking the wireless antenna off. Basically lay it down flat, turn it counterclockwise, unscrew it, put it off to the side just so you don't break it. So basically these models are pretty simple. The top and the front of this slide towards the front. So basically just grab it, slide it with your thumbs back so it won't go no more, and then lift it up. Nothing on here, no wires, no nothing like that. If it doesn't come off, sometimes you have to give it a little yank. It should come off pretty easy. There's no screws or anything except for the one on the back, so as long as there ain't no lock on there, which you would see. But basically it comes off that quick, and you're ready for the upgrade. To point out the inside of this particular machine, this basically has the old style spindle drive, which is making this thing run slow. We're going to take this out. You could put in a 2.5 solid state drive in here if you have one laying around. For this video we're going to do the M.2. The speed difference on the 2 drives really isn't any different. I do like the M.2. They're a few dollars cheaper usually, and to me they're a little bit more reliable, due to the the way they're made and stuff like that. They breathe better a little bit, all that, and you could do 2 drives. For this video we're just showing you what we're going to do for this customer. So but while we have it apart, also this is clean already, but if yours is dusty, clean out the fan, vacuum it out, air compressor, clean it out while you have it apart. 1 screw basically back here is a thumb screw. Phillips head, take that 1 screw out. That releases the caddy. On this caddy is one of the Wi-Fi antennas, which is the gray wire. What you want to do prior to taking this out, so you don't break anything, is to pop that antenna off, which is the one on the left here. It should be on the left if the computer was ever taken apart and put back properly. Basically that's off, and then this slides back towards the front again a little bit. Once you get it there, it just lifts right out. Then the hard drive just slides forward. You do not have to take these screws out. They're on rubber mounts, and then pulls right out the top. This is bad. When we're going to put this back in, and I'm going to show you why, but to explain something why we have the part. If you do have a drive laying around that's good, you know it's good, and you want to put it as a secondary drive, these screws come off right here, these 4 screws, put them on your drive. Even if it's a solid state or something else as a second drive, you can put both the M.2 and the 2.5-inch drive in there. For the people out there saying, well, this drive's bad, and but I can still store some stuff on it, would not recommend it. This bad drive will slow down Windows. The smart system will constantly be detecting it. It will be running errors. It will slow down the other drive. So this is bad. If it's bad, get it out of there. We've seen customers bring in their computers after they did the upgrade, couldn't figure out what it was, and they left the second drive and it was being bad and just did not understand it. So so to give you a rundown on here real quick, if you're taking yours apart for the first time and you did not have wireless, but you have the antennas in there, there is a Wi-Fi card in here. We will be shooting another video. These Wi-Fi cards that go in here need to be made for this machine. The BIOS has a whitelist in it, so basically it will say only these 5 model wireless cards will fit. If you take one out of an HP, it could be the exact Intel model, it will not work. It's it's crazy that they do that. There are videos out there where you can flash firmwares and all that. Not a big fan of that. You can pick one made for this machine up on eBay for about $6. I just did it. If you brick the BIOS on here, you'll kill the machine, and or cause yourself a lot of soldering work. So basically, but it does have Wi-Fi capabilities if you don't have it already. This has 1.4 gig, so what we did was we matched it up. If you're taking yours apart and you have the same thing and you want to match this, just hop on eBay or Amazon, look up this model number right here. Every member stick has its own unique model number, but you can match it up identical with the speed. This is a PC4 2133p. Right after that, you'll see settings. This one's a -10. That's the timing setting. So you do want to try to match that up. It doesn't have to be matched, but I always recommend matching it for the true dual channel speed and all that. This will go up to 32 gig actually in this little micro machine. So you could also order an 8 gig and put an 8 and a 4, and then if money was tight and you eventually want to go up, you could order 116 and give you room to upgrade in here. For this situation, we're going to 8. The customer that's using this doesn't need anything over 8, so we're going to do that. But it's just a little useful information. If you have a 2 gig laying around and want to bump it up to 6, for free, that'll work too. So now, also, BIOS battery. While you have it apart, grab a voltmeter. It should read, 2.95 or higher. Touch the chassis on there, put it on there. As you see, 1.86. That should be 3 volts. Like I said, if it's 2.95 or lower, I recommend replacing it. This needs to be replaced. On these models, where this sits, be careful taking these out. I've seen these broken, and we've gotten them in there broken. We had to repair them for people. So I'm going to show you on this model what I would recommend. Popping this memory stick out right here to give yourself room. Hold the plastic, in the back here down, because that's usually what's going to pop up. And then with a plastic tool, just basically wiggle underneath here and just pop it up. Should come out pretty easy. This is a standard battery that you can pick up. It's a 2032. You can see right there, 2032 battery. So you can pick these up. They're considered, at Rite Aid, a lot of stores, eBay, Amazon. It's a CR2032. This is the Energizer. You can pick these up at Rite Aid because they're made for watches, and not these for hearing aids, but there's different sizes and all that. But you can go, bring your battery there and match it up. Make sure it's 3 volt and the same size, and basically when you put it in, you want to get it underneath the little brass setting right here, right to clip. Put it in there, right, and just like the other one popped out, should go in nice and easy. Once they're in, I like to, make sure that the battery you got is working and that it's good. So what you want to do in here is touch the chassis, try to grab the post back here, 3.28 volts. So that's good, and we know it's getting to the motherboard because so we know the battery's installed properly. Because I tested it at both sides of the past the battery clip. So that's good. Now that we replaced that, you will have to go in and and change your BIOS settings to what they were if they were different. So if you are using this video to add a drive or something like that, and you turn it on when you're done and it doesn't boot or it says it can't find your hard drive, don't be nervous, scared. There's nothing got wiped off and like that. You have to go to BIOS. You might have to turn secure boot on, might have to turn it off to put it back to where you are. So if you want to be foolproof with it, prior to the battery taken out, boot it back up to the BIOS settings, take pictures with your phone, write it down, and that way you know what they were. For the people asking if that battery was dead, why wasn't it holding the setting? Well, once the plug's plugged in back here, it pulls from saves on that, and sometimes if it's a little low, it does, but it's eventually just going to go dead. Some of these things we've gotten in here, one that sticks off the top of my mind, we got a game machine in here one time that the battery was dead, and that stopped it from booting completely. Yes, a $3 battery, and the guy dragged in his 50-pound game machine here. So ever since I saw that, replace the battery. It's cost efficient. If you're doing all this other work, it's real simple. So basically with the memory, they go in only one way, one size longer than the other. If you saw when it popped out, the label with the speed settings and the Samsung was up top, so I kind of remember that. So that's real simple. You're going to put it in. You're going to put this in at about a 45-degree angle. Just wiggle it in to where these gold traces are now disappeared, and then you just press it down. It should clip like that. Once again, if that don't work, pull it out, reset everything. It should go in easy. If it's not going in, something's not right. Exact same thing with this. Right at a 45-degree angle, push down, done. So now, just like that, we're at 8 gig on this. So at this point, so this is the M.2 thing. So just to show you on here, basically, all right, so basically right here, there's a notch right there. So only one notch. You think there'd be a second notch over here to match the drive? No. So like I said, if you had an NVMe drive, it would actually go in here. It would snap in, detect, would not detect in the BIOS, but it would snap in and physically look like it was gonna work. I've been there, I've done that before, and it drove me nuts because I don't know why they don't put the second notch there. If it's, the whole purpose of having the two notches on here is to kind of distinguish the two. This is actually the notch, plastic latch. So basically, you reach in here, you pull this out, and this comes out. It's a little plastic peg. That's the notch, the back notch in here. So this is a 2280. So for people that aren't familiar with these drives, the 80 is, I believe it's millimeters. It's the offset of how long the drive is. So a 2240 would go to this hole. If you had a 2240 laying around, you could pop this whole plastic thing out, move it over here. I worked on some of these where they have both of these. And it's kind of funny because if you try to put this in, if you do have both of these, there's a good chance you have to take this out because it's going to bow the drive, which is never good. So, because it sticks up too high here. So if you do have that, this one doesn't. But if you do have one, take this out. But that notch is only in there because the 2240 would only go right to there. 2260 would fall halfway between. I think the 2220, I think it is real low right here. You could try to get one of those to work in here. I wouldn't recommend it. You might have to use double-side tape or whatever to stick it in there. I like to throw it out there because sometimes you have a 2260 maybe laying around for free. And, there are some solutions. You can put double-side tape down there, put a few on top, and then crunch it down in between the other caddy. But we picked these up $55. This particular one, it's a 500 gig. It's a Western Digital Blue 3D NAND, which is a very good. Just like the memory, you're gonna, put it in right there with the notch. Label up. Use these all the drives. Once you have it in there, it should just float right down, right on there. Don't be alarmed if it feels like it went in too easy. That's what it is. If it feels rough, there's a good chance something's wrong. Now, once it's down there, you take the little plastic peg, put it in there, and you press down hard, and you'll listen. That clicking noise was it locking down. This should be in pretty good. So if this is wobbling, once again, if you're doing this and you didn't understand what I was talking about before, and this feels like it's bowed up right here, like it's bent, there's a good chance this peg for the smaller drive is pushing up on here. Just shimmy that thing out. You just need this one mount, and save the other mount for future if you ever go there. So at this point, BIOS battery at 3 volts, 500 gig in there, up to 8 gig. Make sure this is vacuumed out or blown out. We don't need that. If you didn't have a Wi-Fi and you want to do that, put that out there for. We are going to shoot another video, but for the people that wanted to know the model number on here, so it's Lenovo goes with an FRU number. So this is 00 J like Jake, T like Tom, 471. So if you go to eBay, Amazon, and you type that 00 like the numbers, and JT 471, it'll come up. You'll probably even say ThinkCentre. This is actually a 2/5G Bluetooth card, so it's pretty good. So it has all the bells and whistles, and it will boot and operate in this machine. At this point, it's always good. Make sure Wi-Fi antenna is back here is on good, that you didn't pop it off accidentally. All your other connectors are in. You can even torque down these screws right here to make sure the heat sinks and brackets are all good. Wi-Fi card, everything's snug, and that's it. So now we're gonna reverse back. So you're gonna put this caddy on. Really important in the back here, and I'm gonna try to put the camera up here so you can see. So the back here, there's these latches, and you can see you want to make sure that slides forward, and as you can see, right there, so they're underneath the latches. What I did one time with this model is I didn't get these in, and basically I'm gonna show you what happened with mine. I got this in, and then this was sitting on top, and didn't notice, put that screw in, and then when I went to put the top on, nothing would line up, and it drove me nuts. So you don't do what I did and mess around for 10 minutes. Make sure they're in, make sure that's in. It should just slide forward. Everything with this model should feel real fluent. So like that slaps right in. That's how you know it's good. If you pop the Wi-Fi card off because it's double-sided tape in, there's two little plastic notches in there. Make sure they're lined up, pushing in. But that's it. Once again, this is a thumb screw. I recommend torquing it down with a screwdriver, just because a lot of rattles going on in here. Over there. And now for the hardest part that I think with this is putting on this last Wi-Fi antenna. Once again, if you pop these Wi-Fi antennas off, they do have triangles on here, black to black, white to gray. Once again, they say that matters. I'm not 100% sure if it does. I see videos where they say it does. I don't personally think it does. But what you want to do with this, something that helped me a lot with this, is basically get something plasticky. Once again, if you have an iFixit kit, you have all these stuff or something similar. You want to hover it over there, and then with the plastic thing, basically put down. And as you see, I got the first try, which is kind of rare for me, but it went right on. Now, once again, once you got them both on there, just run across them, make sure they're both on. If for some reason you're having a hard time getting one of these on, or you get off, look at it closely. If it seems like it's broken, bent, or crimped, which means somebody else was inside here, or maybe you put it on wrong and pushed it. There is no real way to fix these. You could try bending them back, but I've never had no luck. And so once again, you can hop on eBay, probably buy this whole caddy with this thing for $5, or buy this antenna wire, or this is pretty standard, this wire with this post on here. If you look, it's a little screw on here. They're on wireless cards, desktops, all kinds of stuff. So if you have something that has about an 8-inch wire on it, you can use that. This has a smaller wiring. The older style were a little bit bigger, so everybody familiar with those. So if you have one laying around and it seems like it's too big to snap on here, it's an older style wireless wire. But with that being said, so at this point, for the people out there that we're gonna put a second drive in, you would swap these mounts over, all four of these, and before you put this caddy in, you would put the drive in, because once you get it in there, you need to slide this into here. Right now, you can't get this in. There, like I said, we're not doing it. We don't. I'm a big fan of, if you ever need the storage, add it then. But there, for people out there that need the storage, I would recommend buying them new. I think they're $40-50 on Newegg for a 1 or 2 terabyte brand new drive. I would not go on eBay. We sell some of our drives on eBay. They're good, but they have some life on them. I mean, and they have not too much life left on them. With that being said, for the few extra dollars, go there. If you really want to, set the bar, buy 1 terabyte solid state. They're about you can pick them up for $90 to $100 now. Put that as a second drive, or even step up your M.2 drive to a bigger drive. But for this video. This is for a customer. All right, so we're just making it a little bit quicker. Actually, this is gonna make it a lot quicker, but storage was not a necessity. So going to put the top back on. This hopefully saves you guys some time. First thing you want to check is this. I'm gonna get it in the white right there so you can see. Make sure this is flat. So I made a mistake of the other day bending it by accident. So I'm gonna bend it on purpose just to show you. So that's bend. What happens with that is this needs to go down underneath here and slide out that little latch right by the Wi-Fi right there. All right. So as you can imagine, it's bent now. I'll show you. So I sat there and it didn't go, and then I messed around for about a good 10 minutes and then realized that I must have accidentally bent it. So, look at it. If it's bent like that, you want it perfectly horizontal right there. Yep, right there, good enough. You want to watch it. This mount also, right here, which the screw goes in, make sure that's flat. Make sure that's flat when it goes in. I'm going to show you. And make sure these are latched in down here. So the way you'll know, that Wi-Fi right there should be no gap right here. So mine had a gap. So basically that was up, and that little bit threw everything for a loop. So the way you'll know you have it right is you get it here, you slide it right down, and you slide it back and right on. To show you what I was talking about in the back, watch it come out, slide out the back right there. Yep. So, and for people that don't know what that is, they put a lock on here. If you have this in a work environment, you don't want nobody going in, stealing your memory, stealing your data or whatever. You put a lock on there. Last time I checked, the good thieves can get by that in about 2 seconds. So, but I think it's more for scare things. So at this point, you go back to the T15. You got the one screw. You put that in, and what you'll notice is, once again, this screw should go in pretty easy. If it doesn't go in easy, take it back out and start again. That means you're probably putting it in crooked. As you start screwing it, you'll see this pull tight in the back, and that's how you know it went on good, and no gaps, no nothing. Wireless antenna, once again, put it on. Wiggle around, screw it. Should go on very easy. If it doesn't, back it off and redo it. You don't want to mess the threads up on there. Once you get it tight here, you can rotate from the back of this to get this antenna to latch up. So don't think you have to set this like, you don't say it's here. Don't feel like you have to tighten this to get this thing back up. This moves. So these things are very fragile. So, that will happen. So with that being said, there is an upgrade. So, we have other videos that are going to show you how to reload operating systems, all that. Word of advice is if you're upgrading yours or something like that and you're going to do a reload, boot it up prior to see what version of Windows you have on it, so you know what key you have. If you put the exact same version of Windows back on, you will not have to rebuy Windows 10. For instance, if this has Windows Home on there, we can load Windows Home on it from scratch, and we will not have to pay for it. If it has Windows Pro and you load Windows Home, it won't work, and vice versa. We have videos. If they're not up, they will be up shortly. Going to show you how to do that, how to reload. We're going to have videos to show you how to clone. If you had an old spindle drive in here like this customer did, and it was still kind of working, we can show you how to externally clone this into the one inside here to get it to boot with all your software. This video was informational for just to show you the the hardware side of it. And just quick rundown of this machine if it's new to you or something like that. This is a pretty good machine. i5 processor. Now at 8 gig. Now has that solid state M.2, 2 USB 3s up front, microphone, headphone up front, wireless card, gigabit port in the back, VGA port. If you have an old screen, 2 display ports that you can convert, to anything you want. So if you have 2 high-end HDMI screens, you just need to get DisplayPort to, HDMI adapters. If you're buying a new screen for this, definitely buy a DisplayPort screen. So basically, and make sure when you buy the screen, it comes with the cable, or if not, buy the cable. Yes, they do sell them without DisplayPort cables, or sometimes come with an HDMI cable. But the best, way to go is right out of here, right to your DisplayPort to DisplayPort. That's the best way to go. You don't need no adapters, nothing crazy. But if you have an old HDMI one laying around, this runs on a Lenovo laptop charger. I would recommend getting a 90 watt because this is an i5. So, but it runs on the Lenovo bricks. Pretty cool. You can pick them up on eBay very cheap. I would definitely, if you bought one of these without it, get a 90 watt. 4 USB 3s out the back. Regular headphone or speakers out the back. The DisplayPort does carry audio, so if you get a screen with speakers in it and DisplayPort, less wiring, the better. So that being good. This is where it breathes out the back. So once again, now it's back together after you clean the inside. Make sure this is clean, and that's also good. And that's pretty much it. These machines, we just worked on one of these recently. I liked it so much, I bought one to sell to my customers. I think I paid $125 with a traditional 2.5 inch solid state. So that's basically this in a solid state drive. It came running. It had no operating system on it, but I loaded there. This is gonna be way better, a little faster than that, but for $125 you can't beat it. If you have an old VGA screen laying around, $125, you hook up your old screen, USB keyboard, USB mouse, Ethernet, and you're playing YouTube videos and everything at top speeds. But not a bad machine. For the size of it and everything, it's packed with stuff. So check out some of our other videos. Please subscribe. If you subscribe to us and you're running a YouTube channel, we will definitely subscribe back. We are new at the point. I think we're up to 13, 14 videos. So we're trying to get in the game like everybody else. So click the sub button. Leave comments. Any questions, anything that you didn't understand the video, leave comments. We check daily, so we will respond back. Any ideas of videos? If you have a different model, something that you want us to go do research on, we take that all the time. But for now, if you have this machine and you just did this upgrade, reload Windows, and have fun.